Peeling an orange is one of life's simple pleasures. The zest under your fingernails, the mist of citrus in the air, and that first juicy burst of flavor. But before it ever gets to your hands, it's been on quite a journey. What most people often don't see is the well-orchestrated systems moving behind the scenes, stretching from sunlit orchards to fast-paced packing lines, all working together to deliver that perfect ball of sunshine. In today's video, we're peeling back the layers of the Navel Orange, following its journey from the moment it blooms to its final stop at the fresh market. You'll see how they're picked with care, protected from frost, graded with advanced tech, and the final polish that helps keep each one looking as good as it tastes. So let's roll into the world of citrus and see how these sunny spheres really make it to market. The journey of a fresh market orange begins in the sun-drenched San Joaquin Valley of California, where endless rows of citrus trees thrive under the golden sunshine. These orchards are part of a much larger effort led by the Sunkist Growers Cooperative, a growers-owned network that brings together thousands of farmers across California and Arizona. Since 1893, they've worked together to bring fresh, high-quality citrus to stores around the world, all under the trusted Sunkist name. While the cooperative produces a wide range of citrus fruits, there's one variety they particularly use for fresh market, the Navel Orange. You've probably enjoyed one without even realizing it. They're easy to peel, seedless, sweet with just the right amount of tang, and have become a cornerstone crop for many sun-kissed growers. Navel oranges get their name from the small, belly button-like mark on the blossom end. That little navel is actually a second, undeveloped fruit growing inside the orange. It's one of the things that makes them so unique and why they don't grow from seeds. Instead, every Navel orange tree grown today is actually a mutation of a single tree discovered in Brazil back in the 1800s. Farmers took cuttings from that tree and grafted them into new rootstock to reproduce the same fruit, meaning all Navel orange trees grown today are basically clones of that original tree. Because of their thick skin, they peel easily and are perfect for lunches, slicing, or salads. And since they're seedless, they're also a favorite for home juicing, though they're not usually used for commercial juice because the flavor can turn bitter over time. They're usually harvested between late fall and early spring, right when we're all craving a boost of citrus. Throughout the year, growers pay close attention to things like soil health, irrigation patterns, and pest management to help the trees stay productive and healthy. And when they're thriving, a single tree can yield up to 500 oranges in one season. But as the nights grow colder, growers face one of their biggest seasonal challenges. Because Navel oranges ripen right as winter sets in, the frost can put the entire crop at risk. To help protect the fruit, growers turn to these tall wind machines called frost fans. Standing as tall as a two-story building, these massive propellers work by pulling down warmer air from above and pushing it through the grove, preventing cold pockets from settling over the trees. Despite all these efforts, not every orange makes it through unscathed. That's why the growers must measure the fruit's sugar levels before they can start picking. If you've ever had an orange that tasted more sour than sweet, it probably didn't have the right BRIX level. BRIX is a way to measure the natural sugar content in the juice, and for Navel oranges, by law, it has to be at least 10.5% before harvest can begin. Growers collect samples from different trees, squeeze out a bit of juice, and use a tool called a refractometer to check the sweetness. If the numbers hit the mark, they begin harvesting. Since these oranges are grown for the fresh market, they need to look just as good as they taste. That's why they're always carefully picked by hand. Workers use small tools called fruit snips to cut the stem just above the fruit. This helps prevent the stem from poking other oranges, because even a small nick could invite rot or bacteria, which is a big no-no for fresh market quality oranges. When the picker's bag is full of freshly harvested oranges, they head over to the nearby bins. Using clips at the bottom of the bag, they gently release the fruit to avoid bruising or scuffing the peel. Every movement is made with care, keeping the fruit in the best shape possible. You might be wondering why so much attention is going into handling each orange. That's because customers expect picture-perfect oranges in stores, and even the smallest imperfections can lead to rejection further down the supply chain. That's why quality control starts right here in the orchard before the fruit ever leaves the farm. When the bins are full of their delicious crop, a special machine collects each one. Because of the way the bins are designed, they are picked up like pallets and stacked up to 3 bins high onto trucks. With everything loaded up, the oranges head out to the warehouse or pack house, where they'll go through sorting, cleaning, and packaging before heading out to markets. As soon as the trucks arrive at the pack house, the crew uses forklifts to unload each bin and move them into designated holding zones, where they're stored temporarily before going inside. The packing house follows a first-in, first-out system, meaning the bins that arrive first are the first to move through the line. Each bin is labeled and logged, so workers can trace where every batch came from and where it's headed. But before the fruit goes into the pack house, there's one more stop, a step that helps give these oranges their vibrant, market-ready color. In some cases, especially in warmer climates, some oranges will stay green on the outside even when they're perfectly ripe inside. So, to give all of them a consistent appearance, they go through a process called degreening, which helps bring out the color that matches their ripeness. The bins are placed in controlled rooms where the fruit is exposed to low levels of ethylene gas, typically just 1 to 3 parts per million, at temperatures between 65 and 75 degrees Fahrenheit. This process doesn't affect taste or ripeness, though. It simply helps the peel develop that bright orange color customers are used to seeing in stores. After about 1 to 3 days, the colors balance out, and the fruit is now ready to enter the packing house. With their color now fully developed, the bins of ripe oranges are brought into the pack house via forklift. Each bin is loaded onto this machine called a bin tipper, which slowly tilts and empties the fruit onto this conveyor belt that leads to pre-sorting. At the pre-sort station, workers inspect each orange as it travels along the conveyor. They're on the lookout for surface issues like bruises, splits, mold, red scale, thrips, or irregular shapes. Any fruit that doesn't meet the standards for fresh sale is pulled from the line and redirected for juice production. Now the oranges enter the blacklight room, where ultraviolet or UV light is used to detect hidden defects. Under the UV light, damaged skin, mold spores, and rot become visible in ways that aren't detectable under normal lighting. The conveyor now moves the oranges into the first of 2 washing stations. At the first one, overhead sprayers coat the fruit with a water and chlorine solution to prep their surface for deep cleaning. Then, they pass over rotating scrubbers and soft brushes that lift off soil from the orchard, pesticide remnants, and any lingering traces of fungus. Unfortunately, while the chlorine wash helps to sanitize the peels, it will also counteract the soon-to-be-added fungicide in the next step, making it ineffective. To avoid that, the oranges pass through a series of fans that dry them quickly and evenly before moving forward. Although the oranges appear to be visibly clean, there's still one more precautionary step to keep them staying fresh and mold-free: the fungicide rinse. The oranges travel under an inline drench of a food-grade fungicide solution, while at the same time, rollers continuously rotate them for even coverage. This treatment helps prevent post-harvest funguses from developing later on, giving the oranges a longer shelf life as they make their way to stores. After the fungicide treatment, they travel through a drying tunnel, where a series of fans circulates air around them, allowing the fungicide to properly adhere to the peel. Simultaneously, rolling sponges rotate them to absorb any leftover moisture from their surface. To give the oranges their familiar glossy finish, they're coated with a light layer of food-grade wax. First, the fruit passes an infrared sensor that counts each orange on the line and adjusts the wax amount and spray timing automatically. As they roll forward, overhead nozzles spray a fine mist of water-based carnauba or beeswax, while rotating brushes below help spread the coating evenly. This isn't just for looks, though. The wax forms a barrier that seals in moisture, keeping the fruit juicy and fresh for longer. The next stop is the wax drying chamber, where strategically positioned fans circulate air, carefully hardening the wax coating. As they emerge, the fruit has a radiant, polished shine that instantly catches a shopper's eye at the fresh market. After their protective treatments, the oranges now go through one last round of sorting to separate out any that don't meet quality standards. Sorters keep an eye out for undersized fruit, black spots, or signs of insect damage, especially from fruit flies. Any that fall short are tossed out before packing. Now the human eye gets some high-tech backup with these sophisticated grading cameras. In this step, a conveyor deposits the oranges onto a track of individual cups, so they're somewhat separated as they move forward instead of being all clumped together. As they travel, a bank of high-speed cameras captures hundreds of images of each orange in just a fraction of a second. Based on those images, the system evaluates size and surface quality, then assigns a grade to each one, and instructs which crossbelt to send that specific orange. But before that happens, there's still one more stop. After their close-up, the oranges pass through a machine that automatically applies a PLU label or price lookup code based on the grade assigned from the cameras. The PLU contains a 4- or 5-digit code that shares key details like the orange's country of origin, grade, commodity, and sometimes the brand. This PLU sticker makes it easier for retailers or supermarkets to track inventory, while also making it possible to trace each orange back to its source should a problem arise later on. After the scanner assigns a grade and applies the appropriate label, it signals the conveyor to tilt the orange onto a specific crossbelt. This belt then directs the fruit to a station where oranges of the same size and grade are grouped together for packaging. At the packaging station, the oranges are then placed into red mesh bags, cardboard cartons, or bulk bins, depending on the retailer's specifications. In some cases, the oranges are directed to an automated boxing system, which is a two-step process. First, workers will individually place the orange in an indentation on plates on the conveyor belt. These indentations represent the amount of oranges needed for a specific carton size. Then, once the correct amount of oranges has been placed, the plate travels along to a machine that carefully places the oranges into stacked cartons. If required, the robotic arms can also layer the oranges, so more can be packed in. Once full, each carton is weighed, sealed, and labeled, then sent to the shipping area. Now, the packaging process reaches its final stage, where the cartons filled with delicious Navel oranges are now prepared for distribution across the country. Each carton now moves through an automated system, where specialized machines strategically place them onto sturdy pallets. A wrap machine then encases the entire pallet in a protective layer of plastic. These oranges will soon arrive at stores looking fresh, polished, and ready to catch the eye of shoppers. From a journey that began in the vast, sun-drenched orchards of the San Joaquin Valley, now ends on your kitchen counter, ready to be peeled, sliced, or squeezed into homemade orange juice. So the next time you savor a delightful navel orange, you'll appreciate the incredible story behind every slice. Now orange, you glad you learned all that? Thanks for watching Made Vision. We'll see you next time.